Namaste to one and all. Welcome to my channel. Your board exam is nearing and you are going through the model examination. So just I thought to make a comparative learning regarding conservation of soil, conservation of forest and wildlife, conservation of minerals, conservation of energy resources. So all these conservations of resources. Why this conservation becomes more important? Because people are using the resource in an irrational way, that is irrational consumption, over utilization, wastage of resources. Without planning, people use the resources, then the resources are scarce in relation to demand. That is another important reason. The scarcity, we feel scarcity because in relation to demand, supply became limited because population is increasing, but the resources remain same, the land remains same, the area remains same, but the population is increasing and urbanization, there is more demand for the resources, the lifestyle of the people changed. All these reasons, several other reasons are also there, in specifically we can go through. And another important thing, you can generally say that the consumption rate of these resources are greater than the production rate. What about the consumption rate of minerals? What about the consumption rate of energy resources? What about the consumption rate of the forest produce? That is, consumption rate is a rapid growth of consumption when the replenishment rate or the production rate is so slow. So that is the thing, the rapid rate of consumption or the rate of production. Consumption is rapid, but the rate of production replenishment is low. So these facts you keep in mind, and we can specifically go through what it tells about. Then in columns I have written, so that may be easier for you. As it is columns written, it will be more easier for you. And here we can see that conservation of soil I have taken first. What about the conservation of soil? Is that is we know that the soil erosion, sheet erosion, overgrazing, lot of reasons are there. So there we needed the conservation of soil. And here how to conserve soil I have written, because soil erosion, deforestation, all these things you have studied in the 8th standard. That topic is so familiar to you. So I am focusing on the methods of conservation of soil. Ploughing along contour lines to decelerate the flow of water down the slopes. Really, I have done a video about this 157 video number, and there I just told that the maximum utilization of resources, that is the important thing for the conservation. I meant that maximum utilization means if you are taking a bucket of water, that should be fully utilized without waste. Suppose you are taking petrol or diesel for your vehicle, that you know that without wastage, that is minimum wastage should be there. I think I have not clearly mentioned there. That is minimum wastage of the resources and fuller utilization. I meant the fuller utilization means what resources we are taking, that should be fully utilized. A square meter or kilometer of land we are using, please make use of that particular area, particular land area for raising crops. That way I meant. And so just I am telling you, when I heard my own video to see that, I know that I have written regarding the conservation of soil, the types of soil, the soil utilization, land utilization. So I myself find that I should have told like that, because sustainable development, we know that is resources are limited, but our utilization is unlimited. So we have to utilize the resources for the future generation also in an eco-friendly manner. That is sustainable development. So connected to that, all resources can be related. And so let us see what about the conservation of soil. Ploughing along the contour lines, decelerate the flow of water down the slopes. Then terrace cultivation, strip cropping, and large fields are divided into strips, and strips of grass are left to grow between. the crops, then shelter belts, planting lines of trees to create shelter. Rows of trees are called the shelter belts, stabilizing sand dunes. So just I am telling you, this is I have written more about this in 157 video regarding conservation of soil and why do we need the conservation of soil. Also I have mentioned in that video. So that is why I have briefly written regarding soil here. Then comes why conservation of forest and wildlife, rapid decline in wildlife, population and forestry. So regarding the forestry, regarding flora and fauna, there is a rapid decline. So we have to preserve our genetic diversity of plants and animals for better growth of species and breeding. So rapid decline of the flora and fauna or wildlife and population and wildlife population forestry, and also we have to preserve the genetic diversity of plants and animals. And we are depending more on the traditional crop and the fisheries also. Maintenance of aquatic biodiversity should be maintained. So that is regarding the why conservation of why do we need conservation resources, and let us see what are the conservation methods. In 1960s and 1970s, the National Wildlife Protection Program was started, and in India, Wildlife Protection Act 1972 passed, that is Indian Wildlife Protection Act. According to that, all India level, a list of protected species were published, protecting remaining population of certain endangered species, and banning hunting, giving legal protection to habitats, and restricting trade of wildlife. So here the list was published, protecting the remaining population, which were especially the endangered species, and banning hunting, giving legal protection to habitats, and restricting trade of the wildlife. And national parks, wildlife sanctuaries were established, and several projects were started. Specific animals, generally tiger, one-horned rhinoceros, Kashmiri stag, then we can see that hangur. Then 3 type of crocodile protection were also introduced, freshwater and saltwater crocodiles and gharial. Then Asian lion. These are some specifics wildlife under this category. Then Indian elephants and blackback and great Indian bustard, snow leopard. All these were the endangered. So this list was published, and 1980s and 1986 several butterflies, moths, beetles, one dragonfly were added, and in 1999 6 plants were also added in this list. 1991 6 plants were also added in this list. Then comes the conservation of minerals. Regarding conservation, why do we have to conserve the resources? The reason is that among the total volume of workable minerals, only 1% we are utilizing. That is earth crust. We know that from the crust, inside the mantle, we are getting all these minerals. So only 1% only we are utilizing regarding the total volume of workable minerals. And there is a rapid rate of consumption, and the production rate is low. That is, the geological process of mineral formation is low. If that is the thing, first I told the replenishment rate or the production rate or the geological process, because thousands of years will take to convert these remainings of remainings of trees, trunks, branches and animals to turn into fossil fuel or the minerals. So the rate of replenishment is lower than the rate of consumption, and rich mineral reserves are short-lived. We are having rich mineral reserves, but they are short-lived because of the continuous consumption. Then continued extraction of ores, increasing the cost and reducing the quality. Then comes how to conserve the resources. Planned and sustainable manner we have to utilize our resources, and improved technology should be utilized to use low grade the ore and at a lower cost. Recycling of the minerals, that is the and use of scrap. So the recycling of the minerals what we are having, then use the scrap metals and find out some substitutes for the minerals. These are the methods how to conserve mineral resources. Then comes energy resources. What about every sector we are using energy? Primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. When we say about the secondary sector, a lot of industries we are having, firms we are having, all these areas, and primary and tertiary sector also we are using the energy. And so increasing amount to develop plans. As from the starting of the 5-year plans, we know that all the development plans we are the higher usage of energy resources, so we have to, and also the consumption is steadily increasing. So every sector we are using, and in all development plans we are using the energy resources, and also consumption also increasing at a steady rate. So urgent need to develop a sustainable path of energy development, promotion of energy conservation, increased use of renewable energy sources. So promotion of energy conservation methods should be utilized and increase the use of renewable energy resources. Then how to conserve judicious use of our limited energy resources is judiciously use our limited scarce energy resources. And example has been given here, public transportation instead of the individual usage of the vehicles. Share cars, share autos, like that public transportation system should be utilized, isn't it? So with the minimum petrol, about 30-35 people can be transported from one place to another place if you are using bus, or even 40 or more than that. And so instead of, if one individual is using that vehicle, 10 individuals are using 10 individual vehicles should have that much petrol or diesel. So that is the thing. And switching off electricity whenever after usage you have to switching off the electricity, and power saving devices should be used, and you have to use a non-conventional source of energy, and energy saved means energy produced. That way it is written, energy saved means energy produced. So these are the methods here. And another thing is that regarding the Project Tiger, in 1973 it has started. Specifically it is written Corbett National Park, Uttarakhand, then Sundarbans National Park, West Bengal, then Bandhargarh, Bandhavgarh National Park in Madhya Pradesh, Sarsiga Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan, Manas Tiger Reserves in Assam, and Periyar Tiger Reserves in Kerala. Then just regarding forest, I'm just whatever I written, I'm reading here. Then the reserve forest, we are having half of the total reserve forest here, and most valuable as the conservation of forest and wildlife resources are concerned is. So here just I have written regarding the difference between reserved forest, protected forest, and unclassified forest also. So let us see the reserve forest. Half of the total forest land is reserve forest. Most valuable. Okay, I will. Okay, I think the reserve forest I can take in another video, and that may be better. Yes, thank you all.